Alex promised himself this morning he wouldn't lose his temper again today. By lunchtime, one small mistake made him explode far beyond the situation. His heart pounded rapidly, fists tightened, and his face burned with frustration. This wasn't the first time anger had completely taken control of his day. Lately, Alex felt angry almost every single day without truly understanding why. Traffic made him furious, slow walkers irritated him, and silence felt unbearable. Even harmless comments from friends sometimes felt like personal attacks against him. He hated reacting this way, yet the anger kept returning again and again. Some nights he replayed every outburst, wondering why he couldn't simply stop. That evening, Alex sat alone, exhausted from carrying invisible emotional weight every day. He wasn't a cruel person, yet people around him had grown increasingly cautious. His girlfriend carefully chose her words, afraid another argument might suddenly begin. Alex sensed something deeper was happening, but he couldn't explain what it was. The truth is, constant anger rarely appears without something deeper beneath the surface. Many psychologists describe anger as a secondary emotion that can sometimes mask more vulnerable feelings. Beneath Alex's anger lived fear, exhaustion, disappointment, sadness, and years of quiet suppression. But here's the part most people never realize. Sometimes anger isn't trying to destroy your life, it's trying to protect you. Before Alex could even think, his brain had already sounded the emergency alarm. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline rushed through his body within seconds. His muscles prepared for danger long before logical thinking had fully caught up. This wasn't weakness, it was his brain responding to years of accumulated stress. Alex grew up in a home where emotions were rarely discussed openly or safely. His parents argued often, and anger became the language he understood best. As a child, showing sadness or fear was treated as something to hide forever. His father rarely expressed affection, leaving emotional needs quietly unmet for many years. Alex gradually learned to transform vulnerable feelings into something that felt much safer. Anger became easier than admitting he felt scared, rejected, powerless, or deeply overwhelmed. Years passed, but those childhood survival patterns quietly remained active beneath the surface. Every disagreement, deadline, or unexpected setback awakened that familiar protective response again. The surprising part is, your brain may still react to old patterns today. Chronic stress had made Alex's brain more likely to interpret ordinary situations as potential threats. His nervous system stayed on constant alert, even when no real danger existed. It was like a smoke alarm that had become so sensitive it reacted to steam. The alarm wasn't broken, it was simply responding too often and too intensely. Chronic anger also affected his sleep, blood pressure, concentration, and overall physical health. Poor sleep made emotional control even harder, shrinking his patience a little more daily. When we're exhausted, our brain struggles to regulate emotions as effectively as usual. Alex hadn't slept well for months, surviving mostly on caffeine and determination. Yet, exhaustion wasn't the only hidden source fueling his growing frustration every day. Unmet emotional needs quietly added more pressure than Alex had ever realized. He rarely asked for support because he believed he should handle everything alone. Instead, disappointment silently accumulated until the smallest inconvenience triggered another emotional explosion. Boundaries were another missing piece that Alex had overlooked for many years. He agreed to almost everything, leaving little time for rest or recovery. Every unspoken boundary violation quietly added another log onto his internal fire. What happened next completely changed how Alex understood his anger. He discovered anger wasn't actually the fire burning inside him. Anger was the smoke rising from something already burning much deeper underneath. That realization completely changed the way he viewed every angry reaction afterward. Alex finally understood his anger wasn't the enemy he needed to fight every day. It was a messenger pointing towards needs he had ignored for too long. Sometimes that message was exhaustion. Other times it was fear, disappointment, or loneliness. Other times, it signaled that an important personal boundary had quietly been crossed. That evening, Alex made one simple decision that slowly changed everything. He began writing down every moment he noticed anger beginning to rise. Instead of judging himself, he became curious about what happened beforehand. Within weeks, clear patterns started appearing that he had never noticed before. Most outbursts followed poor sleep, skipped meals, overwhelming workloads, or unresolved conflict. Others happened whenever he felt dismissed, ignored, or deeply misunderstood by someone. But here's another surprising discovery. The event itself usually wasn't the real trigger. It simply uncovered emotions that had already been building beneath the surface. Alex also noticed something else that completely surprised him. Whenever he named the feeling underneath, his anger became noticeably less intense. Instead of saying, I'm angry, he tried saying, I'm hurt, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm scared. Giving the emotion a name helped his brain process it more clearly. Researchers have found that identifying emotions can sometimes reduce their emotional intensity. That small change made reacting thoughtfully much easier than reacting automatically. Alex also practiced slow breathing whenever he felt tension building inside his chest. He inhaled slowly for 4 seconds, paused briefly, then exhaled even more slowly. The slower exhale helped signal safety to his nervous system. His racing thoughts gradually slowed enough for clearer decisions to become possible. For the first time in years, he felt like he had a choice. Instead of anger controlling Alex, Alex slowly began understanding what his anger was protecting. Alex also began setting small boundaries without apologizing for every personal need. Each healthy boundary reduced the pressure building quietly beneath his daily frustrations. Therapy became another valuable step towards understanding his lifelong emotional patterns. Together, they explored how childhood experiences still influence many present day reactions. Healing wasn't immediate, but each small improvement slowly built lasting emotional resilience. Alex also prioritized better sleep, regular meals, exercise, and moments of genuine rest. Those simple habits gave Alex's brain a stronger foundation for emotional regulation. He learned to pause before answering in difficult conversations instead of reacting instantly. That brief pause created space between his emotions and his decisions. Soon, his relationships began feeling calmer, safer, and far more connected than before. His girlfriend noticed a difference and felt comfortable sharing her own feelings again. Coworkers stopped walking on eggshells, and everyday conversations became noticeably more relaxed. Alex still experienced anger, but it no longer controlled every part of his life. He discovered that healthy anger isn't about suppression, it's about understanding and expression. Anger wasn't the dashboard warning lights problem, it was pointing towards the engine that needed attention. If you often feel angry, ask yourself what your mind may be trying to protect. You might be exhausted, overwhelmed, grieving, hurt, or carrying old emotional wounds. Everyone's experience with anger is different, but understanding your patterns is a powerful first step. Start noticing your triggers, your needs, and the emotions hiding beneath each reaction. If anger feels constant or overwhelming, consider talking to a qualified mental health professional. You are not broken, and feeling angry does not make you a bad person. The moment you understand your anger, it stops feeling like an enemy and starts becoming a guide. Healing takes time, and every small step forward genuinely matters. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Take care of yourself until next time. And remember, sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who never feel anger, they're the ones who learn to understand it.